What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jordan coming back at you. We are still working on this 73 Hondo Day Cruiser jet boat. Sorry I haven't had an update for you guys recently. I about 2 weeks ago went on vacation to California, had a great time, but we are back and we are working hard at it. Been coming across some challenges that we did not expect to have, but that's how most of my projects seem to go. So nothing but par for the course. If you're new here, I want to welcome you to my channel. We're working on this old jet boat. I also do stuff with cars and a lot of do-it-yourself stuff. So if you're into that and watching people restore stuff and go through it, go ahead and like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell. I'd really appreciate it and really help me out. Trying to share this stuff with you guys and trying to do more content on a more regular basis, but you know how life sometimes gets in the way of that. But nonetheless, let's get into it. Let's go and let's see what we got to do on this puppy. So we've got these old gas tanks here that were completely full, well, like halfway full of probably 20-30-year-old gasoline. Probably 20-year-old. And there's just a bunch of crap in it. So I cut some, filled them with water, got all this stuff out. Cut some 5-inch holes with a 5-inch hole saw, get some access in there. And if you can see in here, there actually was a liner in here, and it disintegrated and came all apart. So it seems like this stuff actually melts with some acetone. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just flip it on each side and let some acetone do a little ditty in there to kind of loosen this crap up. And then I'm hoping I can take a pressure washer and spray them out real well and have some usable fuel tanks. I'm not sure if these things were lined from the factory or what the deal is. They're not aluminum, they're steel. So I'm not sure what the deal, if this originally had aluminum tanks or not. That one there, I think, was used more than this tank. I think they were just running one tank towards the end there. Because this one's got a lot more crusties in it. But, you know, if you look at the steel that was down there, it doesn't look like it's actually crusty. I think just that liner was delaminated from the sides and crusting stuff up. So I think with a little bit of elbow grease and some acetone, I can actually probably get this thing to work and have some usable fuel tanks. At least that's what I'm really hoping. Now that I've drilled these access holes, I was looking on the sides and I was like, that's interesting. So it turns out these are actually like soldered in frost plugs, but that's actually, let's see if I can get this. It's actually not a bad thing, because I can stick the pressure washer nozzle in the both ends, and there's one over here too. And now I think I can get that pressure washer to spray at any angle that I need it to. Well, I've ended up cutting these things wide open just so I can get in there and get as much crap out of them as possible. So you can see there's chunks of old liner and whatnot. I mean, it's thick down there. So getting that all out. All of the metal itself actually doesn't seem like it's too bad. Obviously this one's full of crap. I've got this one a lot cleaner. Of course, this was the cleaner tank to begin with, but starting to get most of that stuff out of there. So still some work to do, but we're getting there. So now that I've cut these tanks wide open, I've gotten in there and I've gotten a lot of the stuff out. I don't know how well you can see in there. And I've taken some acetone, and that seems to have melted almost all the liner out that was remaining. There may be just a little bit, and you can see there's still some crap down there. That's all loose. I just haven't vacuumed it up. There's just a little bit of that liner left. So what I'm going to try to do is take and pressure wash these on the inside. And hopefully that gets the last of this. This is the other tank here. Last of that gunk out. So I think once I do that, get the last of that nasty stuff out with hot water pressure washer. I might get lucky and be able to salvage these. At least that's what I'm sure hoping. All right, so we broke out the hot water pressure washer. This is a super high pressure. I think this is like 1,000 psi. But the cool thing about this is it heats the water up to like 205, 210 degrees. And that really helps cut through the crud. So took my tanks, pressure washed what was left of the inside, and I think I got just about everything out. Just a little bit of surface rust and a couple little spots of maybe liner that didn't want to come out. So I think that's about as good as I'm going to get them, and I think I'm happy with that. So now what I need to do is make some panels for the top, weld those shut, and put some pressure in them, pressure test them, make sure there's not any leaks. And then I think what I'm going to do is put a liner in them, just to make sure there's no leaks, keep them from rusting, because these are steel tanks, not aluminum. So that's what we're working on, slowly making more progress on this thing. So I was really hoping originally to get out on the water this weekend, because it's a beautiful 85-degree day here in Wisconsin, and we only get this weather for maybe 3 months out of the year. So we have these 2 tanks. Well, I've got the other one there. We have the 2 tanks here that I finally have gotten cleaned up, and I pressure washed, got all the old liner out, and went up to local fabrication or metal shop that has a little fab shop in it too, and had them make up some of these to cover these holes. And now I can go ahead. I'm going to remove the paint around here, blow out the inside one last time, and start tacking these things together. Okay, so we went through, ground the paint off, and kind of fits nicely over that. So let's see if we can't get it tacked down pretty nice and flush. As you can see, there's a couple spots that might need some persuasion, but we'll get there. Okay, so we broke out the old thermal arc, and I've got it kind of set up and welded pretty decently. You can kind of see I've been slowly working. I don't want to weld too much in one area and warp it, so okay. Just about down here. A couple more, whatever. But not too bad. Here we go. Tank number 2. Use the plasma cutter to cut that out, and gonna tack it all the way around, help minimize any gaps, because you can see here there's quite the gap. So let's get to it. All right, we got this tank tacked up. We got everything looking pretty good. I think it'll be all right. So we're gonna go ahead and start welding her up. Okay, so we let our JB weld that we put on over the seams set up overnight. So that way, if there was any pinholes, they get sealed up. And then just hit the tops of these tanks with some black spray paint. You're not gonna ever see them with where they sit, but I don't want them to rust, even though I think they're actually galvanized steel, looking closer at it. So you see this one, got the sending unit. And I'm gonna cut a hole for a sending unit on this one as well. We got our 1.5-inch hole drilled for our fuel sending unit, because this one originally did not have a sending unit in it, and I plan on putting in a double pole, double throw. That way I can switch the fuel solenoid and switch between the sending units on both tanks for the gauge, left and right, and have the corresponding tank that's in operation show up on my gauge. So splash some acetone around in these. I'm gonna let them dry overnight, then I'm gonna put my liner in it, and then I'm gonna be on vacation for like a week, so that's okay. They'll just dry and cure that whole time, and then hopefully get this dang thing on the water. As you can see, I got the swim deck off here too. Gonna run that through the drum sander. you see that? You see that red stuff in there? Because these fuel tanks are sealed. Put red coat in them, got them all set up, and should be good to go, hopefully. So I got to get them in there. But first, there's a few things that I have to take care of. So we need to make new pickup tubes because the original pickup tubes are pretty crusty and filled full of gunk. So this is some 5/16 copper tube. So I managed to find some 5/16 at my local hardware store. Gotta love the true value. And we are going to, originally these were just soldered right into here, like so. So I'm gonna scuff that up, put the torch on it, and we're gonna solder it up. And we're gonna mark these for the length, because the length on them is about right. So we're gonna cut it and put those together. Okay, so now we've test fitted that, and it goes right in place where the old one was. Shouldn't be any issues there. So now I've got this end scuffed up, just kind of test fitted it. Now what I want to do is put some flux on there, and we're going to solder this guy up. Right, here we go. One down. I might have to clean that up just a little bit so that the threads aren't covered, but you get the idea. See if we can do this. I like to get this real hot. And just, whoop, there you go, you got flux right there. Perfect. I think that'll do. Okay. So now got these guys in here. Again, now we got to do the fuel setting units. So we're out here, we got my pickups in. Now we have to put in the sending units. So I've got these already kind of made and adjusted and fit how I need to make them. So these going a little bit tricky. There we go. And I just have to line up the holes here. Very close. There we go. You can kind of see them there. We'll screw it down, and we just gotta do the same on that side. Pretty simple once you have everything made to fit right. Well, there you have it. You can see she swings towards the rear. Now we just gotta do the same thing on this side, and it shouldn't be too bad. They all fit pretty well. I had to angle them down here because without that they wouldn't fit with the amount of room that I have, because I have to go in kind of at a certain angle. But get this other gasket on there and go from there. Well, I was tightening up this vent fitting when it decided that it just was going to eat itself right out. It looks like it was only soldered on. So I might have to clean that up and do something there, huh? It's always an adventure. That was a close one. But I got it cleaned up and I got it soldered back on there. So, well, let's not do that again anytime soon. Hopefully I didn't compromise that liner in there too awful. I'm not too worried about that corner. But, she'll move on, I guess. Okay, so we got this one starboard tank in. You see, Fits down in there pretty nice, exactly where it was before. So we're gonna run a couple of bolts through there and get her put in. Get some fuel lines to run. Then we'll do the same thing for this other side. I can only do one side at a time because of the upholstery in here. So we officially have our starboard tank in. We got the vent line here hooked up. Got wiring for the fuel sending unit ran, and have the fuel line hooked up and ran to the back here. So now we can put this side back together and we can go over to the port side and work on that. So now we have the port tank situated and bolted in place. You can see sending unit there. Have to hook up the fuel lines yet, and have to put the filler cap on. You can see it goes down in there. Once I get those hooked up, and get everything put back in place, put the upholstery back in place, and get it all bolted down. Well, we got our fuel lines now run from both sides. They go down here to a, I don't know if you can see it, a solenoid valve down there, so I can select between two different tanks. And then runs around, goes my fuel filter here, comes up to the fuel pump, then goes up and over to the carburetor. Well, folks, I think that's going to be it for now. Coming up real soon is 4th of July, and I really want this thing in the water so me and my friends can go out, watch the fireworks on the water, just have a good time this weekend. And I basically have 3 days now left to do a bunch of stuff. We have to change the oil on this. We have to do the ignition timing, tune the carb. Hopefully we don't have any issues with the jet pump, because I've not really had this thing running and in the water, so there could be more surprises coming our way. But we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it to you, and I will see you guys next